Hi. Congratulations. Finally you arrive here, the last step of the BESS decompression. After phlebectomy of the deep layer of ligamentum flavum, the basic decompression process is over. Deep layer of ligamentum flavum is detached and eliminated by separate two procedure, ipsilateral phlebectomy and contralateral phlebectomy. At midline the ligamentum flavum has a central opening. You also never forget the central dural folding at the midline under the deep layer of ligamentum flavum. Always there is a big lion waiting for you in the midline, under the epidural fat bush. Never try to go roughly and carelessly through the midline under the deep layer of ligamentum flavum. This is left-sided, ipsilateral phlebectomy. The ipsilateral ligamentum flavum is mainly attached at distal, lateral and proximal portion. Distal portion is detached simultaneously by distal SP base resection. Lateral portion phlebectomy is also done by lower laminectomy. So only proximal areas from foraminal level to proximal midline are left in a tightly attached state. Just the midline portion can be released well by small retraction of ligamentum flavum. But don't do it too early. Through the proximal detachment, epidural bleeding comes out and the surgical field turns hazy and blurred. Lateral side of the ligamentum flavum is very thick and heavy. It holds very strongly to the sublaminar area. Using Maximus or Wong curette, insert the curette under the ligamentum flavum and scratch the undersurface of the proximal lamina till the ligamentum flavum being detached. This is a schematic picture of ipsilateral deep layer phlebectomy. In order, distal detachment by SP base resection. Then, lateral detachment by lower lamina and SAP resection. The last step is proximal sublaminar detachment of deep layers of ligamentum flavum using Maximus or Wong curette. This is contralateral side phlebectomy. Before doing phlebectomy, contralateral side proximal lamina and contralateral SAP must be resected and then proximal lateral side of ligamentum flavum will be detached. Coming back to midline, divide the ligamentum flavum from the epidural fat using bishop curette. Gentle up curettage of flavum gives wider and wider space. We can see deeper inside on the contralateral side. And then detach the distal portion of the flavum first rather than proximal portion using bishop curette. Then the mid to proximal flavum is left with wider space from the dura. Punching it little by little over the midline. And curettage it under the sublaminar space using Maximus or Wong curette. This is a schematic figure for contralateral deep layer phlebectomy. Midline access and distal detachment for wider view and working space in the midline. You must always secure the safe moving on the contralateral side. There is one thing you must keep in mind during contralateral phlebectomy. You never insert a Carrieson punch at the junction of the ligamentum flavum attaching the lower lamina near the pedicle. Preserve some parts of flavum near the lower lamina. After resection of the lower lamina first, then remove the remnant flavum. In severe stenosis with distal lamina overgrowing on the contralateral traversing root, you can injure the root.